Yo, what is poppin', my guys? It is your boy Ashley, and today we are bringing you a nice little IBA match. This is our week 6 match against OddsAre, one of my boys. We do IBA together. That's actually where I met Odds the first time. We have played against each other in the Hardens tournament, and that's a really cool guy because fantastic GFX. If you're if you got some cash to spend, you want to glow up with some GFX, hit up my man Odds. I'm not sure if he's open for commissions right now, but I'm sure if you throw him enough money, he could probably whip you something up. So let's just go ahead and talk about the team real quick. He brought Raichu, he brought Mimikyu, he brought Camerupt, Mega Camerupt, Lucario, Greninja, and Mantine. So this team is definitely scary, and he is also one of those other coaches that have a smaller number of Pokemon for their team. Like he has, I think he only has 8 Pokemon, while I have 9. So we ended up bringing Comfey, Goodra, Slowking, Mega Gallade, Celesteela, and my good friend Crocodile. We'll go ahead and talk to you about the sets on these. This Slowking is AV Slowking with Scald, Psychic, I believe it's Psychic, Ice Beam, and I think Grass Knot. Sometimes I change the sets from the time where we prep them into the move, but I actually think I took off Grass. No, I kept Grass Knot. Sorry. But yeah, this is AV Slowking. This is going to be able to, as long as it doesn't get flinched, which knowing my luck, take on things like Greninja. It can easily take hits from Mega Camerupt, which is crazy. I mean, it's still going to be taking like 30% from any one attack, but that's just regenerator damage. So I can pivot this thing in and stay in and hit a Scald, because the Scald will take out this Mega Camerupt 100% of the time. It's 4 times speed. Fairly certain it's 4 times speed. So, yeah, this Slowking set is basically just my answer to Mega Camerupt, which otherwise kind of just tears through my team. Now, we also have a nice little Goodra set. Now, I can't remember who in my front office crafted this beautiful set, but I think it might have been Eric that did this Assault Vest Goodra. So we have another Assault Vestmon rocking the Aqua Tail, Thunder Punch. No, I'm sorry, rocking Muddy Water, Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, and Draco Meteor. So that Goodra set can pretty much hit every single thing on his team. Muddy Water is going to hit the Camerupt. Sludge Wave is going to hit the Mimikyu. Thunderbolt is going to hit that Mantine and that Greninja. And a combination of Draco and all the other 3 moves are going to be able to do some good chip and take out damage, and nothing on his team really if I was like Specs or something, he could have switch ins, but as long as I play the prediction game correctly with this Goodra, he really doesn't have a safe switch in on his entire team, so that's always really nice for me. We also are going to go ahead and talk about our Mega Gallade. Now this is Ice Punch, Toxic, CC, which is a close combat for those of you that don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't know. And Substitute. That is basically going to be able to make us force something out, sub up, and the Toxic was for something. He had some, Musharna. He had a Musharna, and I was really worried because Musharna actually does a really good job of walling a lot of my team not named Crocodile. So I was very scared about Musharna, and I wanted a way to start wearing that thing down. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that Gallade set. I'm not sure if it was the best set I could have brought this week, but it is the one that I did bring. So we're going to move right on to Bewears Comfey. I did not want to be taking a Bullet Punch from Lucario, and with this Calm Mind, Hidden Power, Water, Draining Kiss Synthesis set, all I really need to do is get 2 Calm Minds up, and I can pretty easily just kind of sweep through his team, because it doesn't have a ton of bulk. Now, there's the possibility the Mantine does get Haze, but I do have the Goodra, which can absolutely demolish that Mantine. The Mantine cannot outroost the Goodra with Thunderbolt, so if I can get Mantine out of the way, this Comfey is going to be able to put in a lot of work, because with the Bewears, it can even live a Meteor Mash, provided that I'm around full health, so not bad at all. We also have our Celesteela, which is Heavy Slam, Thunderbolt, Leech Seed, and HP Ice. Pretty standard, just kind of handles everything on his team decently well. Doesn't really do a whole lot against Mega Camerupt, but we already have so many good switch-ins to Mega Camerupt, being Goodra and Slowking, that I wasn't necessarily worried about Celesteela having to take it on. And this Celesteela, actually, I'm sorry, it doesn't even get Thunderbolt. I just remembered that. We put it in the prep, but it doesn't get it. So I can't exactly remember the Celesteela set that we brought, but basically the point of it was to try and get coverage for everything on his team, and the leech seed for him switching into things like Camerupt, etc, etc. So finally we have Crocodile with Electrium Z. This is Thunderfang, EQ, Stealth Rocks, and Crunch. This is so we can absolutely bop this Mantine, because Mantine is a really great switch into Crocodile, and he doesn't really have another great switch into Crocodile. Nothing on his team wants to take an Earthquake, so Mantine is his designated answer. Once I can get that Electrium Z off on the Crocodile, nothing else really wants to switch in on it, so I can just bring it in against that Mega Camerupt or something like that, and really just start to put a whole ton of damage down on his team. But now that we've talked about the team, I will say that Mantine is looking to give me a little bit of trouble on the defensive side, because Goodra is really the only thing. Goodra and Crocodile are really the only things that can be able to take it down, and Crocodile doesn't really want to switch hard in onto Mantine. That's more of another game scenario. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the prep, really. There are certain things that scare me, like the Greninja, obviously the Mega Camerupt, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about. Let's just go ahead and get in the game. Why not? Skip ahead. All right, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and lead off with our Goodra. Just seemed like the smartest thing to do, since it has a decent matchup against everything, and he is going to go into Raichu. Now here, I really wanted to hit Thunderbolt, but I wasn't sure if he would be there's always the option that he would Volt Switch, and I pretty much anticipated that he would Volt Switch, because I imagine he was either Choice Scarf or Choice Specs on this Raichu this week, but I did not want to go for the Thunderbolt in case he wanted to stay in, because with the right coverage moves, +1 Raichu could really be a problem to my team, because it does outspeed pretty much everything. I'm just going to fire off the Draco here, and it is going to do a very sizable chunk to the Mantine. With the leftovers, it obviously does recover a little bit, but you know, obviously not the worst. Now here, I probably should have just gone for Thunderbolt. No, I'm sorry, I had -2 special attack. I figured my safest play would just be switching into Lil Pump here, as I imagine he would want to Roost. Now, I do have the HP Electric on this set, I'm fairly certain. Oh yes, I think that's what I do. I dropped one of those moves for HP Electric. So he is just going to go for the Toxic here. That's really not too horrible for me, since literally the only reason I even need this is to scare out Mega Camerupt. And I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam here, trying to bluff like I don't have HP Electric, which is stupid, because he has no reason to believe that I have HP Electric. I should have just gone for it, because even with the HP Electric damage, he can just Roost it off, and it's not even really a problem. So I'm just going to go into Celesteela, because I know this thing walls as well, as he is just going to throw off the Scald, and he is going to get the burn turn 1. So that is really unfortunate. The Celesteela, seeing as it is a leftovers set, would have been leftovers Leech Seed. This thing's longevity has been severely cut just by the fact that its leftovers are basically now neutralized. The item that I brought is now neutralized, and that is really unfortunate. So we'll talk about that more as the game goes on. He is going to go right here into Mega Camerupt, because he honestly has no reason not to. I am just going to throw off a Leech Seed, actually connecting, which is super nice. Because if you watch my IBA game this past weekend, you'll see that I did not do too hot hitting Leech Seeds. And I haven't done too hot hitting Leech Seeds either. I missed 2 Leech Seeds against Caleb this season in the IBL. So, yeah, we got a little bit of recovery, but the burn is still hurting us a little bit. I'm going to switch out, because as I said, I have literally no reason to stay in on this Camerupt. And I'm going to go right out hard to Lil Pump. So he is going to Mega Evolve here, and I assume fire off something like the Yawn. Oh yeah, he fires off the Yawn. So I did not expect the Yawn at all. I went into Slowking just trying to tank an attack, but I'm very glad that I went into Slowking, because now he has revealed Yawn without forcing me to switch. which is huge. Honestly, it is really big for my team, because giving that mega camera up the opportunity to set up yawn would have been really bad. So that was just really nice. I want to act like that was a flex play and I saw the yawn coming, but he just happened to toxic my designated camera up counter. So not bad at all. So I'm going to switch out again, go right here into my Gudra, because I just anticipate that he is going to switch out into his Mantine. He really has no reason not to, and I will be able to fire off that fat Thunderbolt and get the damage that I so desperately need off against this Mantine. So he is going to go into that, as I said, and I'm going to fire off the Thunderbolt. Now, we do outspeed because we EV'd it to outspeed, and that is going to do a huge amount of damage. If I had done that earlier, instead of Draco Meteoring, we would be in a much better position. So I am going to, okay, so this turn I decided to just fire off the Draco Meteor. That wasn't very smart. I should have just Thunderbolted again. I anticipated that he might go into Raichu, which is why I hit the Draco Meteor, because it does get Lightning Rod, and with that Lightning Rod boost, he could absolutely tear through my team. But he actually goes hard Mega Camera up, thinking I'm going to Thunderbolt again, and gets caught with that Draco. He gets hit with the crit. I'm not sure if the crit mattered. Even if it didn't matter, I would still be able to take him out with a Muddy Water the next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much in the long run. But very nice to get Mega Camera up out the way, because that makes Comfy's job a lot easier. That makes a lot of the Pokemon on my team have a little bit more breathing room. And now we are going to switch hard out into our Celesteela. So this Celesteela is physically defensive to wall this Mimikyu. As you're going to see, that Play Rough is going to do absolutely no damage, but he does get the attack drop. So now my Heavy Slam is not going to be doing any damage whatsoever, seeing as I'm burned and got the attack drop. So Celesteela just cannot catch a break this game, steadily getting chipped down from the burn. He is going to withdraw Mimikyu, seeing that without a Swords Dance up, there's really not a whole hell of a lot he can do. And he is going to go straight into Raichu as we Heavy Slam. So I don't think I really had a better move to hit Raichu here. I was just trying to get some damage off. And I would say get some leftovers recovery, but this stupid Skull Burn is going to keep wearing us down. So here we are going to switch out, which is not bad, right into Aaron 2420, which is our Crocodile, because I figured he was Specs, and I was like, oh, I figured he was Specs or Scarf, and I was like, oh, he's not going to go for the Focus Blast, but he goes for the Focus Blast, and we miss. We should have definitely just stayed in with Gudra, or gone to Gudra, or done anything. We should not have gone Crocodile there. Unfortunately, so that I'll tell you why that really sucks, because now Gudra is my only way of dealing with Mantine, and he has this stupid Raichu as an easy switch in into, I've revealed Thunderbolt. If I have Gudra out and he has Mantine out, he can very easily switch into this Raichu to take the electric type attacks with his Lightning Rod. Well, so, oh my god, so the reason that sucks is because Crocodile would not have allowed that opportunity. If Crocodile is out on Mantine, not only is he just not going to switch, because he's not gonna, he's not gonna be expecting to see Thunderfang, but if he did switch, he would not be switching into Raichu, because it's very possible that I could try to predict that and fire off a huge Earthquake and obliterate this Raichu. But as you're gonna see, we do make the prediction wrong, and he knocks us out. But what that does tell me is that he is Specs, because of my HP investment and stuff. It was still a roll if he's Specs, but I have suspicion to believe that he is a Specs Raichu. So I'm gonna go right out here into Comfy, my boy Snapchat, because Specs Raichu cannot really do a whole lot to this thing, especially when it is locked into Focus Blast. So he is going to go out into Lucario, which is exactly what I wanted. It's why I brought the Babiri Berry on this set, and I am going to hit a fat Calm Mind. So starting, if you guys watched last week's video, you guys know what happens when Comfy hits the field. It just starts setting up and becomes an instant threat. So I'm going to use Draining Kiss here and take a very large chunk of health from this Lucario, as he is going to set up the Swords Dance. So here I'm a little bit scared because here I'm a little bit scared because if he Meteor Mashes, it's going to kill me. It is absolutely going to kill me. But if he decides to Bullet Punch, trying to outpace my Draining Kiss, then I will be able to live that if he's at +2. I will not be at a high level of health, but with my Babiri Berry, I will be able to knock out this Lucario if he decides to go for the Bullet Punch. So, because in case you didn't know, Triage actually has priority over everything else. Like it has +3 priority. It goes before every priority move, just because of the nature of the ability. So here you're gonna see I'm gonna fire off a Draining Kiss, bring him down to very low health as he fires off the Extreme Speed. So as you can see, as I said, we outspeed every priority move, even Extreme Speed. And I'm guessing Odds didn't know that because of how he stayed in and let me chip away at this Lucario. So I'm going to go ahead here and Draining Kiss up. We do get a pretty good sizable amount of health back. Now, I really thought about synthesizing here or hitting a Calm Mind or something, but I didn't want to start setting up in case he used Haze, and I didn't want to try and outstall him with Roost. I felt like preserving my Draining Kiss turns was much smarter, especially since we have a Pokemon like Lil Pump here to switch into. So he is just going to Roost with the Mantime, bringing himself all the way back up to full. As I said, this thing is becoming a pretty huge problem. So I am just going to fire off the HP Electric here as he switches out into the Raichu. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to give this thing a Lightning Rod boost. I'm so stupid. And he is actually not Lightning Rod. This whole time I've been playing around trying not to reveal that. I had HP Electric because of this Raichu. It's not even Lightning Rod. So at this point, I'm frantically looking up Raichu's ability, and I see that it is it is static. So now I'm very scared of this Raichu. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm going to throw into my Goodra here, and he is going to roll out into Mimikyu. So I cannot take a Play Rough. I absolutely cannot take a Play Rough. So I'm going to switch out and go hard Celesteela. Now, again, the burn really coming into play here because I would have been at full health right here. He is going to get off the Play Rough, bring it down to about 125 out of 204. So I am sitting at a little over 50%, probably 60, maybe 65. All because of just this burn. Like we've been recovering enough health to be at or near full. So it's just really unfortunate that we have got this burn. So now we're just going to fire off the Leech Seed, because even after he Swords Dances, I know I can live enough to break his disguise, and having that Leech Seed on this Mimikyu is going to be good for keeping it out, especially because with this burn I can't take the Mimikyu out. So this is pretty much my only way of trying to stall it out, basically, at least enough to where I can get it down to the health that I need. He is going to go for the Shadow Claw here, which is going to do a ton of damage. He is Life Orb, which is basically... Okay, sorry, I forgot to mention that when I'm talking about Leech Seed. He is Life Orb, so the Leech Seed plus the Life Orb is really going to be more effective at chipping him down than just spamming Heavy Slam would be. So I just really needed enough Heavy Slams to break his disguise. Most of the chipping on this Mimikyu is going to be from the Leech Seed and the Life Orb damage that he's getting, which also means that I'm probably going to have to sack another Mon to this. It's once Mimikyu gets set up, it really takes on a lot of my offensive win cons. As you can see here, I actually would have been able to live another turn without all the burn damage. Which is really unfortunate, because with leftovers and Leech Seed, I would have been able to handle... I probably would have been able to 1v1 that Mimikyu and not gone down to it. But as you can see, that's not the case. I am going to have to go out here into Slowking and just sack it off. I knew there was no chance I was going to live that. I just needed the Life Orb damage on the Mimikyu, because as you can see, that's going to put it right in range of Comfy. So this is a role that I have to play on right now. Nothing else on my team takes a singular attack from Mimikyu, so I'm 100% just relying entirely on Comfy hitting Draining Kiss to knock out this Mimikyu. And that's pretty much what the game's coming down to at this point, because we have a good core. We have Gallade, we have Comfy, we have Goodra. We have all the mons that we need to run through his team, provided we get the roll on this Draining Kiss. And we don't. He lives on 1 health. He literally lives on exactly 1 health. And he is going to Shadow Claw. We lose our priority. There's no way to take out Lucario. But with if we play right with our sub Gallade, right? So that's my thought process at this point. We lose, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. But he does go into Greninja here, so I imagine this Greninja is locked into something, and he is not taking me out with any one attack, and I can obliterate him with this Gallade. So here I decide, instead of going for the sub, I think I just fire off an attack, because he does have like options like exactly. Sorry, U-turn. He does have U-turn, and U-turn will always break my sub, or if it doesn't break my sub, it broke it enough of the time to where it wasn't worth wasting the turn going for the sub. I'm just gonna fire off the close combat here and try and set the sub up on something else, like possibly if I get in the same position with the Greninja again, I can just set up the sub, except Raichu gets static, and yeah, there's pretty much no way we can win this game now. Everything on his team is going to outspeed Gallade. I can't get up a sub against anything because he has no reason to switch against anything because, as I said, I am paralyzed. He is just going to fire off the Z move here. Look at the boy Odds go. Whipping and nay-naying. But yeah, that's really frustrating because had we gotten that roll, we would have been in a much, much better position to win this game. There's no way this Lucario could have come in and fired off the Z move because, or even if it did, we could have easily taken it out after with a Draining Kiss. We still had our Bewears attack, so if he wanted to go for a Steel type attack, he was not at +2 and we could easily tank it, even though after the match he sent me his set and he is actually not running a Steel move on his Lucario, which is upsetting a little bit. Just wasted prep. I mean, it was good prep, but it just didn't end up working out. I think that's something I need to try and figure out as well. Just like when is prep good prep that just didn't pan out because of the opponent, or when is prep just bad prep. I think I prepped and played really, really well this week. I just think that some of the rolls are there. The plays that I regret the most are easily losing the Crocodile, which really, really sucked. I should not have risked the Crocodile that early in the game, especially against something that I had plenty of switch-ins to, not named Crocodile. I'm a little upset about the roll, obviously, that we got with the Mimikyu, because had we taken that Mimikyu out, we could have synthesized up. At +1, we take out Greninja. We could have taken out Raichu at the health that it was. I'm sorry, no, we already took out Raichu. We could have taken out Mantine in a 1v1 because we did have the Goodra left as well as the Gallade. Like, the Gallade couldn't do a whole lot, but we could at least sub up and Toxic and stall him down enough to where Comfy could take it on, or that the Thunderbolt from Goodra was a one-shot. So very, very winnable game, but unfortunately the rolls and shit just weren't in our favor. Good game to Odds. Again, he's a good friend of mine. Definitely check out his channel. Hopefully he uploads this. This is actually the start of the IBL midseason break, so you will not be seeing another IBL video on my channel for another 2 weeks, I guess. Not next Monday, but the next Monday you will see our week 7 battle where we face off against Darude, coach of the Aberdeen Elves. And let me tell you guys, we have already agreed to meme, so that's going to be a great one. I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. Peace.